Okay, let's talk about New York City. Just saying the name brings up so many different images, right? The sounds, the energy, the feeling. But what is it that really makes this city a global icon? In this explainer, we're going to try to break down the anatomy of the Big Apple in just about 5 minutes.
Yeah, the city that never sleeps. We've all heard it, but it's so much more than just a cool nickname. It perfectly captures that relentless 24/7 rhythm, that larger-than-life personality of New York. It's a city that is always on, always moving, and always creating something new.
And where does all that energy come from? Well, it's the people. All 8.5 million of them. That makes New York, by a long shot, the most populated city in the United States. Just think about that. A staggering number of stories and lives, all packed into one incredible place.
So here's our game plan for tackling this huge topic. We'll start with the city's core identity. Then, we'll explore its 5 unique hearts, the boroughs. We'll look at its massive economic engine, dive into its unbelievable culture, and finally, talk about how you even begin to navigate this icon.
First up, the Big Apple defined. You know, to really get what New York is today, you have to take a quick look back at where it all started.
Let's rewind a bit. Way back in 1624, it was actually founded by the Dutch, and they called it New Amsterdam. Then, in 1664, the English took over and gave it the name we all know today. That ambition just kept growing and growing over the centuries, leading to these huge moments like in 1931 when the Empire State Building opened. I mean, that really cemented its identity as a city that literally reaches for the sky.
You know, one of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking New York is just Manhattan, but the reality is so much richer than that. The city is really a collection of 5 totally unique worlds, or boroughs, each with its own vibe, its own soul.
And each one is so different. You've got Manhattan, right? The iconic financial and cultural hub. Then there's Brooklyn, just buzzing with this incredible art scene and diversity. Hop over to Queens and boom, you're in the most ethnically diverse urban area on the entire planet. The Bronx? That's the birthplace of hip-hop and home to Yankee Stadium. And then you have Staten Island, which has a more suburban feel, and that famous free ferry with those unbelievable skyline views.
So, beyond its amazing boroughs, New York City is an absolute powerhouse. It's not just some American city, it's a critical engine for the entire global economy.
Get this, the city's gross domestic product, or GDP, is over $2 trillion. To put that into perspective, if New York City was its own country, its economy would be bigger than Canada's or Russia's or Australia's. It's an absolute economic force of nature.
So what's fueling that $2 trillion engine? Well, it's a powerful mix. You've got the titans of finance on Wall Street, the global headquarters for media and fashion, a booming tech scene, and of course, tons of tourism. It's also a huge political player, since it's home to the United Nations and so many Fortune 500 companies.
But New York isn't just about money and power. Not at all. The real soul of the city is in its culture, this vibrant, always changing tapestry that's woven from threads from every single corner of the globe. And that global influence is just staggering. Over a third of all New Yorkers, 36%, were born outside the United States. Think about that. It means the city is home to people from over 180 different nationalities, and you can hear more than 200 languages on its streets. It's not just a melting pot, it's like a living, breathing microcosm of the entire world.
And that diversity has shaped everything, right down to the food we eat. For instance, the very first pizzeria in the United States, it wasn't in Chicago, not in California, it opened right here in New York City back in 1905, brought over by Italian immigrants. It's the perfect taste, pun intended, of how global culture becomes American culture, right here in NYC.
And you feel this cultural influence everywhere. You see it in the world-class theaters on Broadway. You taste it in the iconic foods like New York-style pizza, bagels, and cheesecake. And you definitely hear it in the passionate fans of legendary sports teams like the Yankees, the Knicks, and the Giants. It's a city that really sets the standard for taste and entertainment for the rest of the world.
Okay, so we've got this massive, powerful, culturally rich city, but how does it all work? How do 8.5 million people manage to move and live together?
Let's talk about what it's like to navigate this icon.
A huge part of the answer lies underground. The New York City subway is the largest public transit system in the world, with a mind-boggling 472 stations. But what really makes it the city's lifeblood is that it never stops. It runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is literally what makes it the city that never sleeps.
And to really wrap your head around that scale, just imagine this. If you were to lay all of the subway's tracks end to end, they would stretch for over 600 miles. That's about the distance from New York City almost to Chicago. It's this incredible feat of engineering that keeps the city's heart beating day and night.
And of course, above ground, the city is defined by its landmarks. But there's so much more than just tourist spots, right? They're global symbols. You've got the Statue of Liberty representing freedom, the amazing engineering of the Brooklyn Bridge, the insane lights of Times Square, and the beautiful, peaceful escape of Central Park. These places are all woven into the very fabric of the city's identity.
So, there you have it. The history, the economy, the culture, the sheer scale of it all. But you know, all those facts and figures, they only tell part of the story. At its core, New York is a city that's defined by its people, by all their individual experiences. It's a place of infinite possibility. Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. In a city of 8.5 million stories, which one will you discover?